Welcome to the Vida Rosa. I'm your host, Kinky, and today we're going to be talking about Married at First Sight, the most boring episodes of this show that I've ever come across in my life. But if you still want to watch this review, please stay tuned. But before we begin, I would like for everyone to check out my website, The Vida Rosa Style, where you can find cute accessories like the ones I'm wearing right now. The link is down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay, y'all, like I said, I feel like since y'all want to do 2 hours, y'all literally could have taken everything that happened in these last maybe 4 episodes and condensed them down into 2 episodes. Because seriously, nothing really happened. I pretty much have my same opinion about everything, especially when it came to this couples retreat. I don't understand like, why are they dragging this out? It's been like double the time. It's been 2 months over past the decision day. So what I'm trying to say is y'all should have been ended this. If y'all were meeting in person and able to have a couples retreat, that means y'all could have did decision day, and y'all should have been did it as soon as possible. This is not fair that y'all are forcing these people to be together for longer than they agreed to. That's why I was happy for Brett to leave, because Brett said, look, I didn't sign up to be in this for this long. I gave you 2 months and I was going to tell you yes or no. I think had they had that amount of time, he would have been left Olivia. But because y'all left them together for too long, it ended jacked up. And so that's why I'm like, why are y'all pushing it? Okay, I'm going on a rant now. Let me just go ahead. I don't even really need to even talk about them individually, except for 2 couples. I'm going to talk about Olivia and Brett, and I'm going to talk about Henry and Christina. Then we're going to get into this couples retreat, and then I'm getting up off of here. I don't even feel like this review should be that long, because didn't nothing happen, really. Olivia and Brett. Well, really just Olivia. So Imani comes over and helps her pack, and of course they talk a lot of crap about Brett. And I'm just like, Imani, you really don't even know the ins and outs of what happened. You know what you know about Brett, and you know what Olivia has told you about Brett, but you really don't even know what happened. But I understand you have your friend's side, and you know y'all are cool. Y'all, you know, she probably been venting to you the whole time. I get it, but something about Imani's attitude kind of turned me off this episode. So this was just the beginning of that. So it turns out Brett still sends her text messages every so often, even after, you know, he said he didn't want to stay married, talking about he wants to hang out. He told her it's fine to go date, and I'm just like, duh, Brett, you said you didn't want to be married no more. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm being nosy. Imani doesn't think that he gave his all into the marriage. And like I said, you only have her side of the story. And he would have been left if decision day was still on that same day. So you can't say he didn't give his all. Brett literally took everything in the apartment, including the food. He only left the salt. Well, girl, you don't cook. You don't cook. I don't feel like he like took the food in a malicious way. You order out all the time. You said it yourself. You're probably not even going to eat that food if he left it. He also left the wedding gift that he gave her, and they were like mad that he didn't take it. And I'm like, y'all probably would have had an attitude if he did take it. Like, oh, how he gonna take that wedding gift? He didn't even want to stay married to you. Like, it's like whatever Brett would have did at that point could have been criticized. I'm not even gonna go in too hard on how they acted, but it's just like, girl, I mean, are you not going to take any sort of responsibility in the demise of your marriage? You're not going to take any responsibility at all? Yeah, that's what I got from Olivia. But then next episode, she's going to be like, well, if Brett wanted to come back and he wanted to work it out, I'll give him a chance. Girl, I don't want to hear that. Let's move on to Christina and Henry. So, turns out Christina really hasn't been home since they had their little accusation happen. So what we know is that Christina accused him of having an affair with a man, basically accusing him of being gay, being a fraud, you know what I'm saying? He said, obviously, Henry says it's false. I believe Henry. And he feels like she set up this whole situation so she could save face. And so Woody came over and talked to Henry, and he said the confrontation was 3 weeks ago. So we know it was 3 weeks ago whenever she said that to him, and she's barely been home since. And then it turns out that she has admitted to being a flamboyant liar in the past. So she's admitted to, oh yeah, I used to tell lies. I used to be a big liar. That says a lot to me about her character right there. Because, I mean, if you admitted to that in the past, who's to tell me that you're not doing that now? You know, Woody was just sitting there shocked, bamboozled, because he would never put up with anything like this in a relationship. He still thinks that she will pretend to be fine on the couples retreat. Like, even though they haven't really been talking, she hasn't really been home, he feels like she'll put on for the cameras and for everyone else. And, she definitely did. That's what Christina does. That's pretty much who I thought she was from the beginning, because her words in the confessionals never matched her actions. You know what I'm saying? It never matched. And I just wanted Henry at this point to leave. I didn't even want him to go on the couples retreat. It's like, if you accuse me of something like that just to throw me off the scent of you being a liar, you'll do anything. So then we get her side of the story, and she claims she didn't really think he was gay. And I feel like Christina has some serious issues, and because Henry is not acting the way men have acted towards her in the past, she's become the toxic man that she couldn't stand, or that she was trying to avoid towards him. And it's like what everyone was saying in the comments. It's like, girl, he got to be gay because he didn't want to be around you, because he didn't want to touch you, because he didn't like you. That's the actions that make him gay. You have no other solid proof other than he just don't want to be around you. Turns out she lied. She couldn't find the text when he asked her to find it, so clearly it was a lie. She low-key admitted it was a lie, or she thought it was a lie. She just brought it up just to deflect. And now, girl, what if that would have picked up and really become a storyline? People really believe that. That's trash of you. That's very trash of you to try to ruin this man's reputation like that. All right, so let's get into the retreat, because, yeah, I feel like the sun's about to go down. I'm trying to hurry up. Okay, so when they all sat down together, they acknowledged the fact that Brett and Olivia were not there. And Christina said that, she didn't like him from the beginning, and she felt like he wasn't here for the right reasons. And we did see her talk to Olivia about him, but girl, he didn't even really do much at that time for you to be doing that. Like, you were doing too much. You really didn't even have no solid proof to be pulling her to the side other than a hunch. So you were doing too much. And I don't know, I just feel like they're gonna be doing too much on Brett, and I don't think it's fair. I never thought I would be sitting here defending Brett, but that's the reason why I'm kind of going hard, because I see them trying to spin this narrative on Brett, and I don't think it's fair, just because y'all don't have the full story. Then she started crying. I'm like, this is the disingenuous stuff we're talking about right now with Henry. This is so disingenuous. Why are you crying? This is not your relationship. Were you even that close with Olivia? Like, she didn't invite you to come help pack up her place. Amani not even crying over it. Like, and Woody was looking at her like, they just didn't work out. Like, what are you crying about? And Woody was sitting there like, you need to be crying about your own relationship. I thought it was hilarious how Bennett handed her the napkin because she was crying, because it was like, girl, shut up. You just want some attention. Then Bennett announced to the whole table that they had consummated their marriage, him and Amelia. And I thought that was so funny. Everybody bust out laughing. I feel like it broke up the tension. And then they said they also spent some time in Virginia together. All of them have been together for 4 months at this point, and he said this is like uncharted terrain for the show. This is the longest anyone has ever been together in this experiment without having decision day. And then Miles spoke up. This is actually crazy, because this retreat happened during the time of the senseless atrocities that happened against Black people that sparked protests across the world, not just in America, across the world. I'm getting chills thinking about it. I'm getting goosebumps. This was a very difficult time for Black people. It was like a heavy, like, weariness, and just oh my goodness, it was a tough time. It's just, I almost, like, I'm not going to think about it too much because it really is a heavy time for Black people. And I like what Miles said. He didn't want to come. And I don't even blame him for not wanting to come, because he didn't want to have to be on. He didn't want to have to pretend like everything's okay. And it's hard to be present during a time like this. And Black people, we usually have to put on a front a lot of times. We usually have to code switch. We usually have to, you know what I'm saying? We have to put on a front to the rest of the world, so everybody doesn't think we're that angry Black man, angry Black woman. You know what I'm saying? We don't get to express our emotions, even though we experience the most oppression. We experience the most oppression, and we can't even vent without someone telling us we're doing too much, or telling us we don't have the right to do that, or these people, you know what I'm saying, shut up. Or being looked at as angry when we should be angry. But I'm not gonna get on here and preach, y'all, but I felt Miles on that. Karen was really shocked that he was opening up to say that, but she said she was proud of him, so I'm just gonna say she was supportive, because I'll give her something. At some point, Christina chimed in. I don't know if she cried again or something, but I wrote down that Woody and Henry were looking at each other laughing at her being dramatic, because she just do the most, y'all. You could tell she be putting on a show for everybody. So later on, they were all sitting down, everybody except for Amelia and Bennett. And I believe it was breakfast. And Henry brought up the fact that they had consummated their marriage. I think he was just trying to like be goofy and just bring up something to talk about. And Amani was looking at him mad because Henry wanted to talk about everybody else's stuff but his own stuff. So Amani was getting irritated with Henry, I feel, for no reason. I don't know. I think she was asking him what he learned in his relationship, trying to get into, you know, what is happening with Christina and himself. And I'm just like, I don't know. He did do it in an awkward way. He was trying to pass it off to Christina. She was like, no, I asked you. And you could tell he wasn't really trying to talk about it. It's like, girl, that is not your business to get into. If he don't want to talk to you about that, he don't have to. Like, I didn't understand why she was pressing him so hard. He didn't turn around and ask you about the DM situation that you had with Woody. Like, there's some things that you possibly don't want to talk about. He probably also remembered last time he talked to you, it was a big drama behind that, and he got into a huge argument with Christina. So maybe that's why he didn't want to talk to you and tell you all his business again. I think Henry didn't even want to bring up the fact that she accused him of being gay, because that's like, come on, that she completely accused him of being a complete fraud in his marriage and doing something so scandalous and cheating on her and with a man. Like, she knew what she was doing. He doesn't want to bring that to the forefront in front of everybody. That's embarrassing for him. So why, I feel like she was trying to drag that out, but that is not cool. I didn't like the fact that she was trying to press him to talk about that. It got so awkward, and like everybody was just looking. I think more so what Woody was doing was trying to like say, look, if y'all don't want to be together, y'all don't need to be together, because some of the stuff that Christina has done, I could never put up with, and it just seemed like y'all don't need to be together. And I feel like that's what he was trying to do, but Amani was just trying to, I don't know, I didn't like the way she was trying to press him, because it really wasn't that serious. You know what I'm saying? She made it awkward for no reason. And then Christina was like, she didn't want to throw in the towel, and Woody was like, look, that towel has been thrown, it's on the floor, and it's soaking wet. So then the women and the men met up individually. Bennett was talking about how they're gonna have to move during a pandemic, and I like the way Bennett consistently brought up the pandemic and how this is more difficult because of the pandemic. I feel like he was like really driving that home, and I don't blame him, because this is a very difficult situation even for long-term couples who have been together forever. They asked him about the move, like having to move from from New Orleans to Virginia, and he said he already can't do anything that he would normally do, hang out with friends, you know, work on projects at the theater. So it's like, I'm gonna go from being here and doing nothing to going there and doing nothing. So it really hasn't hit him. It can't hit him yet. And Miles said he would have never been able to take a leap like that, and I told it like, thank you, Miles, for having some sort of backbone, because I would hope that you wouldn't just follow Karen anywhere without her giving you any sort of attention whatsoever. When people are talking with Christina and Henry, it's like they're being very vague and not really talking about what's really going on. And so they're really confused and they don't know what's going on. Henry basically was telling the fellas that she's been dishonest and manipulative, and he's just trying to keep the peace. And Bennett is confused. He don't know what's going on. He ain't got an inkling as to what's going on. And he just thinks that everything that Henry is saying is contradictory as a result. But it's just because he doesn't really, get it. And also Amelia, whenever Christina, says what she had to say about Henry, she feels the same way. She feels like she's being dishonest about the situation. And she is, Amelia. You're a great judge of character. So Miles and Woody sit down and have a conversation with one another. Miles says there is something missing from their relationship, and it's the physical intimacy. It is. It's been 4 months, y'all. It's been 4 months. And I'm not saying anybody should be forced to be physical with one another. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying if y'all are not moving any closer to that within 4 months, it's a dud. It's a dud. What are we doing? We ain't moving no closer. We're not kissing more. We're not holding hands more. We're not cuddling more. We're not moving towards that at all. Like, there's no promise of it at all. Nothing. There's no intimacy, but they're stuck in the house together, which was even worse. And he's been working out nonstop. He lost 20 pounds. And you know what? My grandma even said when she saw him, she was like, is that the same guy? Because she called him the big guy. She called him. she was like, is that the big guy? She called him the big guy every time she see him. She was like, that cannot be him. I'm like, yeah, that is him. She noticed that he had slimmed down. I was like, oh, he did slim down a little bit. I thought maybe he had bought some bigger clothes, so he wasn't, But no, he lost some weight in his clothes. He looks better. This woman almost hit me, y'all, in a parking lot. Miles lost some weight, and that's because he's trying to work off any tension that he may feel. Poor thing. I feel bad for Miles. Oh, my goodness. I have never felt bad for so many men in one season of Married at First Sight. I usually take the women's side most of the time. I'm kind of biased towards the women, but the men have had it rough this season. I can't even lie. There is literally no timeline to when she's gonna decide to finally, be open to physical intimacy. He's affectionate. He's very affectionate, and she's not affectionate at all. And he feels like it's going to be really hard to make a decision without it. And I'm like, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. It wouldn't be hard for me. Woody thinks that Miles is kind of being a little delusional, and he Miles thinks they're doing well except for that, and Woody doesn't think they're doing well at all. And I think he just don't want to hurt Miles' feelings. He didn't tell him that, but he kind of said that in the confessional. And Woody was like, if you're going to try it all. Like, if you're going to try this experiment, go full force. Give your all. What's the point of signing up to get married to someone at first sight and only giving 50%? Give your all. I agree with Woody. Like I said, I don't want to force nobody to give their body up. That is not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is you should at least be trying to give some sort. You think you're going to be married and not have any sort of physical intimacy at all? What kind of marriage is that? So then they played this little game show called Stranger Spouse, which was really cute. And surprisingly, Amelia and Bennett thought they were going to win. Monty and Woody thought they were going to win. But surprisingly, Karen and Miles won. And I think that was a shock to everyone. But I think it's because all they do is like the technical stuff of, what is your favorite color? What is this? What is this? They don't really sit down and just spend time, real time. Like, she always claims she wants everything to be so natural. But I feel like if it weren't for Miles, she wouldn't know that much about him. He is open enough to talk to her and ask her questions. And in turn, I feel like she doesn't really necessarily ask him those questions. She might rebound the question he asked. Or I think the reason why she knows so much about Miles is because Miles is open and talks about himself and willing to, share things about himself without being prompted. Where the same way she is about intimacy, she won't kiss him or hug him or give him anything without being solicited. At this point, I don't want Miles to say this. I never thought I would say that, because at the beginning of this, I thought, you know what, he should press through and he should go ahead and, you know, I want them to work regardless of how she is right now. But I had to sit down and think about it. And if Karen was a man and Miles was a woman, I would have been said, leave her alone. I would have been said it. I would have been like, Miles, this isn't worth it. If he was a woman, I would have been said this. So I have to be real with myself and say, I don't think they belong together. I don't. At this point, let me get up out of this parking lot. Somebody else almost hit me. But anyway, I feel like they should leave, because I feel like they're not compatible. I don't think she really appreciates him. I think he's put in so much work in these 4 months and she's put in not even half. So I don't even think she deserves Miles at this point. So anyway, you guys, let me know how you feel down below. It's almost too dark for me to even still be recording, but I made it. Yay! Y'all tell me your opinion. I want to hear, what do you think about everything? What do you think about these episodes? Have they been boring to you too? Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.